Is Shiba Inu about to make some major headway when it comes to institutional money? That's what I want to talk about in this video. There was a question from a viewer that I actually misread, but I want to talk about this anyways because this does bring up a very interesting point. How can Shiba Inu perform? One, if it does get an ETF, and two, if it doesn't get an ETF. We'll discuss all that and more in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So this was the question from the viewer. I appreciate the question. It's from Thunder Down Under. He said, how do you think SHIB will go if it doesn't have an ETF? And the thing that I've talked about a lot lately and that people need to remember is Shiba Inu is very heavily retail driven. It's been the thing that we have been lacking in this market cycle. We have not seen big introductions of new retail players to the space. And it's very unfortunate. It's why SHIB and many other assets have underperformed in this market cycle, because it's a lot of the same capital just rotating around, going from asset to asset to asset, looking for new stuff. How can I make the most gains? SHIB is an asset that's now been around for 5 years. It's a multi-billion-dollar market cap. Some people view it as an opportunity. Some people do not. Now, that being said, and I've mentioned many times, we are seeing Shiba Inu grow on a fundamental level. Whales are opening up new positions. We're seeing new holders enter the space. We're seeing exchange supply dwindle. So we're seeing all the right things from a fundamental standpoint. We just haven't gotten that quite exciting burst yet. So let's talk about this side of this first. If Shiba Inu does not get an ETF, what we are going to see from Shiba Inu is going to be heavily dependent on retail. All right, it's going to be heavily dependent on what the whales decide to do. Do you see conviction remain strong? And that's where I've kind of gotten this mindset of, Shiba Inu somewhere between 3 zeros 5 and 2 zeros 1. Now, obviously, we're a long way away from that right now. 2 zeros 1 is like 100x. It's not like 100x. It is 100x from where we're at currently. Can Shiba Inu do something like this? Yes, it can. But you need to, again, see those right things taking place. You need new adoption. You need excitement. You need euphoria in the crypto space. We haven't really seen much for a euphoric time in this cycle, apart from maybe that push in February that brought a baby amount of new adoption, that time in November. So that's twice this cycle we've dealt with minimal euphoric experiences, and that is something that will change over time, because you're not going to see crypto adoption just stop. You're not going to see what was the fastest growing tech in history turn into a laggard. That we're undergoing a big fundamental shift in crypto with the introduction of institutional money and enterprises and governments. And that's where this kind of shakeup is taking place. That's again why I've talked about, I think the cycle is extended. I think we're going into 2026. And that's where, again, I think we have huge opportunities for Shiba Inu. So my projections on that side have not really changed. It's the big thing that we are and have been missing that hasn't been here yet, that's going to allow SHIB to do some of its best things yet. And hopefully that makes sense for people. Now, let's talk about if SHIB does get an ETF, because I'm not sure if people saw this news or not. But $1.7 trillion firm T. Rowe Price seeks approval for crypto ETF linked to multiple tokens. And interestingly enough, down here, T. Rowe Price's crypto ETF reportedly aims to provide investors exposure to a selection of 5 to 15 digital coins that meet specific eligibility criteria. The fund's prospectus indicates that the eligible assets could include Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, Doge, and Shiba Inu. So we might be on the verge of actually seeing Shiba Inu enter its first ETF product here in the US. Now, this isn't a guarantee. Again, they're still exploring this. They're kind of gauging this to see what kind of demand there is. And that's the thing, is in order to get into an ETF product, you need to have demand. SHIB does have demand, but it's a question of how much exposure do institutional players want to something like a meme coin? Now, obviously, SHIB, like we've talked about many times before, it's very different. It has a deflationary supply. It's a renowned smart contract. There isn't, this big supply that's held by the founders or anything like that. It's one of the most purest forms of crypto. And it's, again, a question of, how much they care about that. What is performance looking like heading into that? I think that we do need to see some sort of spike from SHIB in the near future, to keep that momentum alive, to keep that excitement alive. And again, I don't think SHIB's going anywhere. It's funny because, again, people keep saying that SHIB is dead, but yet everything else shows the exact opposite of that. But this could be a big step if you start to see SHIB enter these ETF products. I think it starts to turn heads just a little bit, both on the institutional side, but on the retail side as well. Hey, if SHIB is good enough to enter an ETF, maybe I should probably have just a little bit of Shiba Inu. That's kind of how psychology works. So I just thought that was very interesting. If SHIB does get into this ETF and starts having more ETF listings on top of that, and we're starting to see, crypto tackle that, 10 to $12 trillion market cap, we might be on the verge of Shiba Inu approaching hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap. And this isn't, my wishful thinking or anything like that. If we look at where SHIB's history lies, we have seen Shiba Inu be a $50 billion market cap in the past. We have seen Dogecoin be a $100 billion market cap in the past. And both of them, I think, have enough relevance right now still in the crypto market, even just the people here currently, to see some insane gains off of that. If SHIB does 10x from where it's at currently, guys, it's a new all-time high. It's a new market cap high. I mean, I just find it comical. We see so little SHIB out in the markets, and people still think that these types of moves can't happen. But when they happen, people are stuck wondering, oh, what the hell just happened? Well, we're on the verge of, again, some pretty big changes, and maybe an ETF is one that helps get us there. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. I appreciate you as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.